Hi, this is Patrick Conroy, and today we're going to go over Technology in the Law Office, Chapter 1. This chapter is really very simple and very straightforward. We have about 15 slides. It's not going to be rocket science, and a lot of this you're going to know already, or it's common sense. It's just an introduction to the course and to the book itself. Okay. Learning objectives. After this lecture, you should be able to explain the use of technology in the law office. 2, discuss the impact of the federal rules of civil procedure on electronic documents and the use of technology in the law. 3, explain the role of the technology support staff. 4, describe the need to understand the language of technology. 5, identify technologies that can help the legal team collaborate and work more effectively. Some common computer technology ways that it's used in the law office: word processing, preparing documents, electronic spreadsheets, performing financial calculations and financial presentations. If you don't know Excel, you'll need to learn it. Time and billing programs. This is very important because your clients are billed for when you're working on a case. And so it's very, or if they call, this could be they call, you're doing research, you're answering emails, all of that is billable. So you want to make sure that every bit of your time that you spend working on a case is tracked. So that's why we have special software for time and billing programs. Also accounting programs to manage firm financial records, payroll, and client escrow accounts. Calendaring. You have all sorts of deadlines that you have to make sure you have things into the court by. So your calendar is very important. So you use technology to keep up with all of that. Graphic presentation software, preparing persuasive presentations, probably using PowerPoint. Trial presentation software. This is more than just PowerPoint, because you might have evidence that you need to have organized, documents, all of that. So this will help you keep track of how that's arranged as you present it. Internet search engines. Well, you're going to be searching for accurate and current legal information and factual information to support a case. So you will be using Google or whatever is your favorite search engine all the time. Some other ways. Databases. To maintain the records and documents of everything. Email and document delivery. Well, I think you all know how email works. And e-discovery, finding and reviewing discoverable electronic data. And using the internet to work collaboratively. This includes things like Zoom, video conferencing, or share documents in Word on a server, Dropbox, all sorts of things like that. Now, the 2006 revisions to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure specifically address the increased use of electronically stored information. Now, the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure are sort of like how cases are handled and also how evidence is handled. So this has to do with collecting evidence. And attorneys can request access to databases, electronically stored documents, emails, etc., the same as if they were physical documents. The legal team then must develop methods to sort through thousands of documents to find those relevant to litigation. That's part of the discovery process. And the other side doesn't want to make it easy for you. So they might give you boxes and boxes of paper that you would have then scan in to search for what you want to fine. It can be very time consuming, and they're doing it deliberately to consume your time, or you're doing it to them. Now, privileged or confidential information must still be protected, requiring a check of each document. For instance, if it's communications between the attorney and their client, that's covered. Other emails between members of the board of directors, those are not. You can't just put all your databases on a hard drive and give it to your attorney and then expect it to be privileged. It's really those communications between the attorney and the client that are privileged. Technology support staff. Large law offices, government, and corporations have IT staff. And IT handles questions and uses about use and implementation of computers and software. So small law firms might just have one person who's kind of like the office geek who carries way more work than they're given credit for, but they know how to do everything and find everything. It helps to be that geek if you can at the law firm. As technology has increased, IT departments have gotten larger, and they can offer the best support to the legal team when they are involved early in the process and it's clear what the legal team needs to accomplish. In other words, involve them early on in the discovery process to let them know what you're going to be looking for so they can set up search parameters and figure out how to process all these physical documents into a format that can be electronically searched. The language of technology, well, we all know that tech geek is its own language. And you sort of have to learn it so you can communicate with the IT people and understand their language as you translate your language into theirs. Okay, this collaborative technology bit was done before Zoom and before the pandemic. I mean, Zoom was around, but it wasn't used as much. The pandemic, put this forward 10 years. So you all know what video conferencing is by this point. And there's all sorts of different softwares that you can use to create a face-to-face communication when parties are at remote sites or under lockdown. And it's okay to do depositions, hearings, or conferences in this method. I think the courts will begin more and more to allow this kind of technology to be used in place of like pre-trial hearings, but we'll have to see how that goes. It's just much more effective, and they can get through many more cases that way. And voice recognition software, that's when you like talk to your iPhone and it puts it into text for you. That's voice recognition software. So as I said, most of this is pretty straightforward, easy. The last slide is just copyright information. Oh, this nice little graphic. So, you're going to have firewalls, of course. In remote offices, the internet, isn't that pretty? Cloud, that means when all the files are stored on a cloud server, which means it's probably not on site. They probably have Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Web Services, and that's where they keep all their documents instead of keeping them on site physically in their law office. And remote collaboration. And then finally, the copyright. Go through the chapter. You take the quiz. I'm probably going to set up some other problems. I haven't figured out what. They'll be posted in modules in this site.